Hello, welcome to the stream. Say hi if you want to. Hey, Superfly. I bought a new pole today. Yeah, garage fishing. I'm setting a new pole up. I got an Akuma Undertaker at a garage sale. It's an older model Akuma. I believe it's European because it's labeled as a carp pole or a carp reel. I'm going to try to use it for catfishing. The pole on this thing though is 12 foot long. It's a bit on the ridiculous side. There's a local catfishing guy here. He has a very active social media. His name is Twisted Tackle. and I think he has some sort of sponsorship with Okuma. He uses Okuma reels, rods, and he catfishes with an Okuma octopus jig. So like a saltwater setup, and the jig it's a squid or an octopus jig, and man, he catches a ton of catfish on that thing, jigging it, especially flathead. And he catches a ton of catfish on that thing, but he uses a lot of Okuma stuff. So when I saw this at a garage sale, I decided that I'd go ahead and pick it up. But it's an Okuma Undertaker UT50, and the rod itself is an SKP 12C20 carp rod. It's a bit of an older model, I think discontinued, but Okuma's pretty high quality rod and reel, so I thought I'd give it a shot. Have you guys ever used Okuma before? An Okuma noodle rod with an Okuma center pin for trout fishing. Nice. Well, this might be bigger. This is 4 feet longer than my boat is long. My boat is 8 foot long, and this is a 12-foot rod. I mean, minimum 12 foot. And I'm putting a 25-pound test on there, test line, and I don't think I'm getting a whole ton of line on there. So this might not be a great rod and reel for catfishing, but we're going to give it a shot. I'll show you how big it is in just a second. It doesn't feel like I got 150 yards on that reel. That's not a lot. Yeah, if you're fly fishing all the time, a casting rod's really not going to do you any good. It's good that you kept it though if it's sentimental. All right, I'm going to show you the size of this rod. Give me just a second. I don't even know if you can see it. That's bigger than 12 foot. I'm 6'5". I don't know if you can tell, but I can touch the camera from here. Might be too big now that I'm looking at it. It is definitely a carp rod. That is for sure. Carp rod. I think I said crop. Yeah, it's real long. I thought it might be a fun experiment. Might make for an interesting video. I mean, I don't even know how. I can reach 8 foot or more. might be a little too long. I'll be right back. I'm gonna grab my other rod. I'm putting this is my ultralight rig. I'm going to be putting a little heavier test on it. I currently have 2-pound test. I don't know if anybody saw that GAR video that I just posted, but I hooked a GAR on one of my catfish poles, and it broke off of the boat. But when it jumped into my ultralight rig that I was catching skipjack on. That was quite the circus. I paid $30 rod and reel for that Okuma. It is an older model, discontinued model, but it's in pristine shape. I did talk about in a couple of my videos recently sabiki rigs, and when I talk about sabiki rig, this is the fly. And that's the only way I can describe it, is it's very fly-like. But there's like 8 or 9 of those, all strung on one string. And they do a really great job for, skipjack. Which I think skipjack and trout, you talk about flying those superfly, or tying those. I think skipjack and trout, now that I think about it, have very similar mouth structures. I think skipjack's mouths can open wider, like a predatory attack fish, like a bass or something, but their jaw is all bone. I think trout have a very bony mouth as well. Is that right? That fly I showed you. Oh, okay, trout have soft mouths. I was under the impression they had a bony mouth. Is that why it's hard to hook a trout, because their mouth is soft? Superfly says that trout have soft mouths. Never caught a trout, but I knew they were difficult to hook. But so opposite of trout, skipjack have very bony mouths, and they short strike, and so the hardness of their jaws and their short strikes make it real hard for them to get hooked up on. Trout are hard to hook because they're fast to spit the hook. All right, that makes sense. I mean, I've never caught a trout, but I've seen plenty of fishing shows where they're fishing for trout, fly fishing videos and whatnot, and that's one thing they say, that they're real hard to hook. trying to pick up my garbage here so my wife doesn't yell at me. That makes her sound mean. Trying to pick up my garbage here so that I can be a good husband and not leave junk around for her to pick up. Plenty of trout up north. You know, happy wife, happy life. That's what they say. All right, let me put this old 2-pound test in the trash, and we'll talk about what I'm going to put on my ultralight rig to catch skipjack with. I'm going to go up in poundage on my test line. I'm going to go 6 pounds, tri-lean, ultra smooth. I'm kind of a cheapskate. You can spend a ton of money online, but I like tri-lean. It's Berkley tri-lean, or tri-line, however you want to say it. And I find that it's really good line, lasts a long time for a really good, decent price. I'm going to show you guys a trick. Maybe you've never seen it, or maybe you're aware of it, but I didn't find out about it until I was late into adulthood. See this hole right here in the side? Do you guys know what this is for in a line box when you buy it in a fashion like this? Of course, you can buy a line like this, or you can get it like this. But do you know what that hole right there in the side is for? Anybody take a guess? I guess it's just used to provide. You can guess if you wanted to. Man, I didn't learn about this until I was in my 40s, probably. All right, so you take the little sticker off, and you got your line out like this. You take it and you slide it back into the box, and you rotate the line until the end of your line that you just took out comes out that hole, like this. And then you close that box up, back up, so nothing can escape. Puts a little tension on your line. Makes it a little bit easier to string that line out if you don't have some fancy gadget that puts it nice and tight on your line. Does that make sense? Yeah. Yeah, I'd always seen that hole in that box before, and it never even crossed my mind. And then I was watching some random video, and somebody said that. Thought that was a neat little fact. Yeah, it's smart. It makes sense too. Like it just makes sense. It's not like a foolproof idea, but it's a pretty good idea. I mean, it's obviously not foolproof. I've messed it up myself, so that just proves that a fool can mess anything up. I was planning on going fishing tomorrow, but looks like the weather's going to be bad, so I think I'm going to go fishing today. So this type of line, monofilament, or what do they call that? Not monofilament, but it's really good with abrasion, so I don't think it's bad for it. I've never noticed a problem with it, but it might be. But it's not anything that I've noticed. I need to get some line on my poles here so I can go out and go fishing. I'm out of bait, so I'm gonna have to catch some skipjacks today. And I was watching another YouTube guy that I really like. That's a local guy here. His name is Captain Ken, and he does guides, I believe, on his home lake of West Point Lake, which is not too far away from here. But he comes down to our river a lot. Does a lot of videos on there. Man, he was killing the skipjack yesterday. So I'm gonna get out there and try to do the same and catch some catfish. That last time I was live, Superfly, and I was fishing and I wasn't catching anything. That was like last week sometime. I went back. That was a Saturday, I think. I was live, or no, that was this week. Last weekend. It was Memorial Day weekend. I was out fishing, wasn't catching anything. Some of you guys were there for that when to see that I couldn't get anything caught on live. But I went out the day after that on a Monday, because I don't normally get the fish on Mondays, and I figured the river would be nice and quiet with the holidays and stuff and the stormy weathers. And it was very quiet. I went to a different spot, but I forgot my camera equipment. I didn't forget my camera equipment, but I forgot to charge my batteries, so they were all not very good. And so I was just out fishing for the love of the game, right? And they were biting okay. It wasn't great, but they were biting all right. And I went to a different spot that I wouldn't normally go to, and or don't often fish. It's kind of a transition zone between that flathead hole that I've talked about. That's known for giant flatheads. Right behind the Whitewaters in Columbus, Georgia. We have a whitewater rafting course that I fish at that the city built. It's real nice, and there's some really good fishing there. But it's kind of out in this transition zone where it gets flat, and it's all these boulders and different river things that that's been there. They blew up some dams back in the day to make this whitewater thing, and so all this rubble's there. You get hung up a lot, but I hooked into this fish, and I thought I lost it, but it had ran under my boat and on the other side of the boat. And so I kept reeling and reeling and reeling. I finally got caught up to it and realized I still had it. And it jumped behind me, like it came to the surface and splashed behind me, scared the tar out of me. I thought it was an alligator for sure, but it was probably the biggest blue cat I've ever seen in my life. Definitely the biggest blue cat I had ever caught. And I got it on the other side of the boat, but that thing you were talking about where the line rubs against stuff and it's bad for it, as I was reeling up to catch up to him, because he ran straight at me, I could feel that I was rubbing my line up against a bunch of rocks. And so when I finally caught up to him and I horsed him to my side of the boat, he did one last jump and broke off right at the boat. Man, that was so sad. It was such a big fish. It was kind of cool, but I didn't have any video proof that it actually happened. But you just have to take my fisherman's story that it did happen. But man, it would have been a personal best blue, that's for sure. It was ginormous. Pretty fun. If you fish out on a river long enough, man, you're going to see some pretty funny things that happen. Some pretty unusual things. Well, I got that carp pole now. That Okuma Undertaker UT50. It's an older reel I just purchased from a yard sale, and I was pretty excited about it. But it came on a carp pole for those that just joined. And I'm looking at this pole. I just restrung it. I'm going to try to use it on catfish. That's a 12-foot pole. It's got a 12-foot carbon pole. That might be too big for my boat. I may need to save that rig and put it on a different, put that reel on a different rod. I don't know. We'll see. It's ginormous though. 12 foot long. That is a ridiculous sized rod. But this is the European version of that Okuma reel. I bought it from a guy from Europe. Lives here now, and he's from England or something. You know, he had one of them fancy accents. And they do a lot of carp fishing over there, so I'm not surprised that he had a bunch of carp poles. I do need a bigger boat. I'm working on that. By the end of the summer, maybe winter time, I'll probably be fishing in a different boat. That carp rod did come with this. It was tied on. Mepps. Not sure. I bet you a skipjack would hit that though. White bass too. Yeah, those inflatable pontoons can be fun and nice. I also spoon a lot for skipjacks and white bass. They really enjoy these spoons. I thought this was more of a northern pike muskie type situation, but those skipjacks really will. That you've heard of the Mepps lure before? I've never heard of that lure company before. Mepps. Just getting my gear a little bit together before I go out today. I am definitely going to go out and go fishing. Oh, good. I'll hang on to it then. It seemed like it was a good lure. Got some new no roll weights, so these won't roll in the water. They'll lay flat on the bottom like this. Help keep you from rolling. I also got just your pretty standard sink weights. That was a little guy. I think it was an ounce and a half. I got some bigger guys. That's a 2.5 ouncer. Making sure that all the gear that I've recently purchased gets put back in the right place before I go out. You know what I mean? Those sabiki rigs that I bought that I really enjoy come packaged up like this. These are the small ones. These are size 6. I purchased size 8 recently. Not much bigger, but man, those skipjack really enjoy them. The instructions on the back, they're kind of weird. You tie it on while it's inside the packaging. Man, I wish it was Friday. Friday at work yesterday was kind of crazy, so maybe I don't wish it was Friday. All right, well, I think I'm going to wrap this live session up for now and get ready to go fishing. I just wanted to tie on to... I just wanted to get some new lines on that pole, check it out, see if that reel was any good, and I think it was good. So maybe we'll give it a shot today. Thanks again, Super, for stopping by. I'll see you in the future. Thanks, guys.